Hi, welcome to my channel Cloud with Girish. Did you know that password authentication is often more secure than traditional password-based methods? Many companies are transitioning to passwordless authentication to enhance security and maintain compliance. In this video, I will explain AWS Cognito, an AWS service for authentication, sign-in, and user management, and demonstrate how to configure it for password authentication. AWS Cognito is a fully managed service for user authentication and user management. While it has been around for over a decade, in November 2024, AWS introduced new features, including passwordless authentication to enhance security and usability. I will walk you through configuring AWS Cognito for passwordless sign-in, signing up a user, and redirecting them to a desired website upon successful login. Let's look at our architecture. We have a consumer application. We are providing a login page, and once user try to sign in or sign up, he will be sent an OTP via email, and this service is provided by Cognito. Once a one-time password is validated, then user will be redirected to the protected web app. If there is an incorrect OTP provided, then an error page will be provided. Prerequisite for this workshop is familiarity with the AWS Management Console, basic understanding of user authentication, no programming experience required as this is a no-code solution, a website to redirect user to after successful sign-in and login. You can have any sample web page that you want to redirect after a successful sign-in and login. Let's get started. We'll look at an intro to AWS Cognito and password authentication, why passwordless authentication is important, setting up a Cognito user pool and configuring login attributes, and then testing the authentication flow using the hosted UI, which is provided by AWS. We'll sign up or create a user, and then we'll sign in using the passwordless authentication, validating both passwordless and traditional login flow, and then at the end we'll clean up the resources like deleting the user pool. So let's look at the introduction to AWS Cognito service. So while AWS Cognito service for sign-in, authentication, and user management has been around for about 11 years, AWS further enhanced it by adding more features. As of November 2024, AWS Cognito supports implementing password authentication. In this video, I will demonstrate how to leverage AWS Cognito to secure your application with passwordless sign-in. AWS Cognito allows password authentication through methods such as one-time password, referred as OTP, and code sent via email or SMS, and then passkey and biometric authentication like integration with facial recognition or fingerprint scanning. Let's look at why passwordless. Weak passwords continue to be a significant vulnerability in securing online accounts. Reports over the past few years have shown that commonly used passwords such as password or 123456 frequently top the list of breaches. With password authentication, these shortcomings are mitigated as there are no passwords to steal or guess. Let's set up a Cognito user pool. We'll set up a user pool and configure attribute for the sign-in setup. Creating a user pool is the first step in getting the Cognito authentication configured. In order to create a user pool, sign into AWS Management Console and navigate to AWS Cognito service and create a user pool. Provide a name for the user pool and configure the email attribute for the login and sign up process. During both the sign up and sign in step, this authentication process will use the email address as the login credential. Optionally, you can specify a return URL. After a successful sign-in or login, the user will be redirected to this URL. Here is an example of how I am configuring it. I am configuring the email attribute for the login, and then I'm also providing a return URL for the page that I want user to be redirected after the successful login. You can also configure multi-factor authentication for additional security, but I will skip that for now. User pool and app client will be created with this configuration. Once the user pool and app clients are created, you can use the hosted UI provided by AWS to validate the login process. Click on View Login Page to access the sign-in page. Since this is the first time accessing the page, you will need to create an account, as the Cognito user pool does not yet have any user. So we will have to create an account in order for us to sign in to your account. Click on Create an Account to navigate to the sign up page. Fill in the required details such as your email and password following the password policy configured during setup, and then click Sign Up. Once the account is created, this user is now in the Cognito user pool and we can log in using the email address and password. That's the traditional password flow, and after the successful login, you will be redirected to the return URL configured in the setup. In this example, the URL configured was like https cloudwithgirish.com, so the following page will be displayed. Now that we have created and validated a user credential, let's go back to the user pool and configure it further for passwordless sign-in. Edit the sign-in experience setting to allow login with email and then save the changes. So here I am customizing the sign-in experience, and let's see how that works. So now once configured, if I navigate back to the sign-in page and log in again, so user pool is now set up and passwordless sign-in is also set up. I will see a screen where an OTP will be sent to the email, and once I enter the OTP, it will complete the login process. So in this example, I use the default email provider, which is Cognito, for OTP email delivery. However, you can also configure Amazon SES or Amazon SNS for the OTP delivery. Additionally, enabling logging and monitoring using CloudWatch provides observability to track login attempts and troubleshoot any issue effectively. Once we're done with this exercise, we can delete the Cognito user pool, and that is just to prevent unnecessary resource usage and associated cost. In this workshop, I demonstrated how to use an Amazon Cognito user pool to configure a passwordless authentication process. We validated the setup by creating a new user and logging in using the credentials. The entire configuration and validation process, including the creation and setup of the user pool, was completed using the AWS Management Console. I hope you found this tutorial both helpful and informative. I'm constantly working on new content covering various AWS topics, so please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the Cloud with Girish channel. Your support helps me continue creating valuable AWS tutorials and workshops. Stay tuned for more exciting content. Thank you.